It is my hope that the example of Enes Kanter freedom, the example of the women of Iran, and the blank page protesters of China will inspire each of us in our own lives to be brave, to recognize and act at the decisive moment, and to stand tall, like Enes, for the rights of all. Enes, if I could ask you to come up, I would now like to present you with the Lantos Human Rights Prize.
People were just keep talking about me losing my career, but I talk about the problems were happening in Turkey. I haven't seen my family the last 10 years. So for me, sacrificing my career wasn't big of a deal when it compares to my family. But every night I was praying to God. I was like, God, please, let me see my family one last time. It's been almost 10 years now that I have not seen my mom, my dad, or my sister. When I started to talk about the abuse that are happening in China, I actually try to reach out to every organization. The one thing that they said was just really break my heart. They were like, listen, I think what you're doing is so amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, so inspiring. We love you, we support you, but we just cannot do it out loud. I asked them one simple question. I was like, put yourself in their shoes. If your mother, if your sister, if your daughter was in those concentration camps, getting tortured and raped every day, would you still pick money and business over your morals, values, and principles? There is not one single answer. I had this conversation with this lady. We were having a 1 hour conversation. Actually, one of my friends, Kuzat, was in that conversation too. You guys can ask him. So we sit down, have 1 hour conversation, and the things that she was telling me about, all the gang raping, all the torture methods, all the forced sterilizations and abortions and all the organ harvesting. So I was like, at that moment, I'm like, I don't care how much, whatever money or business involved, I'm gonna stand up for these people. Our first shoe was Free Tibet. That was it, literally Free Tibet. So I put the shoes on, I went out there, I warm up. 1 minute before the game starts, 2 gentlemen came to me from the NBA and said, you gotta take your shoes off. I'm like, excuse me? They said, you have to take your shoes off because your shoes been getting so much attention internationally, you gotta take them off, right? So I closed my eyes, I promise you, closed my eyes. I was like, okay, there are 27 amendments. My first amendment, freedom of speech. No, I'm not taking them off. Seriously, this was it. So they were calling me, pressuring me, take their shoes off, blah, blah. It got to a point they were pressuring us so much. I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm down. I'm not going to wear Free Tibet shoes every game, but just do not call me. They said, promise? I said, promise. So we hang up the phone. So the next game, I wore Free Uyghur shoes. I remember I got the rebound. I gave it to this Jewish kid with the kippah on. He's dribbling. He crossed somebody over, passed to this Palestinian girl, and she scored. When she was coming back, they high-fived each other. Of course, we are not going to solve the problems happening in Middle East by doing basketball camps, but it's a start. You have to start somewhere.